Well, it may be hard to believe, but we are coming up on 3 years since the murders of Barry and Honey Sherman. The Toronto billionaire couple was found dead in the basement of their North Toronto home in December 2017. And despite an ongoing investigation, the case remains unsolved. No killer has been found. No arrests have been made. But in recent days, there have been new developments in the investigation. The Toronto Star is reporting it's gained access to court documents that reveal more critical clues, including search warrants and evidence obtained from outside the country. The Star's chief investigative reporter, Kevin Donovan, has been covering the story very closely. He is also the author of the best-selling book, The Billionaire Murders, The Mysterious Deaths of Barry and Honey Sherman. And Kevin Donovan joins us now. Kevin, we appreciate you taking the time for this. You've obviously been following this so closely. What do these new documents reveal at all?
Well, we learned a number of things last week through this process that we've been undergoing. The Toronto police have gone overseas to a foreign jurisdiction. They won't say which one to obtain information, basically a search warrant or a production order overseas. That was last May. We also learned there's been some activity in Ontario, presumably in the GTA area, in the last 2 months. There's been a search warrant executed where they've, for the first time in over a year, actually gone and gotten something physical, and then 2 production orders. I would imagine there's some sort of either banking information or telecom information that the police believe they need. What this case has very much become, Anthony, is a case where they're doing an analysis of information they have. The police say they have a theory of the case, but not enough to lay charges.
But of course, 3 years later, it becomes even more difficult. It may be difficult to ascertain based on the documents that you've gone through, but do we have any sense of how close, if they are at all, to any arrest?
What they've unsealed to us in court is actually just the first batch of warrants, 4 of the 12 that they've done. So we don't have anything from this that is quite current. But what the detective that we were cross-examining in court said was that they're a batch of information that they're going through. I asked him, is that going to be years? And he said, no, months. One never knows these things because the police do keep all this as secret as they can. But it does seem like there's been a lot of activity, and they're moving towards either a conclusion or to perhaps labeling this a cold case.
Well, let's look at the first couple of months of this investigation, really the first couple of days, and how that really set the tone for where the investigation went, and I guess better to say the time lost as a result.
Yeah, there have been reports that all the media had done in the first few weeks that the police were focusing on this as a murder-suicide, as in the late Barry Sherman killed his wife and then killed himself. The police have publicly said that really wasn't the case. But what these documents show that it was the case. The police from the very start were going down the road of murder-suicide. They quite quickly determined, according to these documents, that Honey had been murdered. But as far as who did it, they were leaning in on it being Barry. They were asking questions. Did Barry Sherman, was he having an affair? They were asking people a lot of those questions. Did he have a terminal illness? Was there some undisclosed a problem he had that would have led to him doing this and taking his own life? In the first the 2 months of documents, what I'm not seeing are questions being asked by the police who could have done this. So they certainly did lose some critical time, and I would say in the neighborhood of 7 to 8 weeks before this really became an investigation of what they now call it, which is a targeted double murder.
We appreciate your time and your insight. We know it's valuable. Kevin Donovan, the chief investigative reporter with the Toronto Star. We appreciate that. Thank you so much.